There we go. I think we're live. Hey, everybody. Andy Kennedy with Andy Kennedy Co. here with Hana Kova from Moonatic, and Barbie is one of our members here. So we are just having our monthly discussion. We have 2 Zooms a month for our membership Zooms. And the first of the month, we talk about the astrology, the herb, and the crystal of the month, which this month we are in Cancer. Today is the full moon. So we're going to be talking about the full moon in Capricorn. Today is like my day, even though it's not quite my day. I'm a Cancer sun with a Capricorn full moon. So Monday is actually my day, but this year it's today. So yay for me and yay for Hana, because Hana is also a Cancer. So we'll probably unpack that a little bit. We did on the last Zoom too. Our herb of the month is dandelion. So everybody likes dandy. She's so pretty. This time of year, in some places, she's done, but here in Shambhala, she's still going a little bit. We have her yellow flowers. And our crystal is calcite, which I love this crystal. It's strong energy. It's one that you can feel. When you pick it up, it feels kind of like meteorite feels. Out in, out in, out in, hot, cold, hot, cold. And if you're holding this crystal, it'll like pump that energy up your arm. Super clearing, comes in 3 different colors. And so those are that's our pack for this month. For our members, we put resources in our Facebook group on all 3. So all of our members get a document on the herb and the crystal and the astrology of the month. And then we have additional resources in there too. We've got a book list this month. Hana put in some herbs and resources for perimenopause. So that's a good resource for the women in this group. And we always talk about moons and moon cycles and women's health and wellness and mindset and all of that good stuff too. So if you're not familiar with Pillars of the Goddess Moon, check it out. We'll put the link below. And yeah, it's a very affordable group to join, and we love it. So, Hana, I'm going to turn it over to you to just talk about the couple things you want to chat about, and
Yeah,
take it away.
absolutely. Thank you, Andy, and welcome, welcome. If you're watching this and if you're not yet a member, then definitely follow the link that Andy puts under this video and sign up. And happy full moon, because it's a full moon in Capricorn. And yes, Andy, happy birthday. It's on Monday, right? Mine is a little bit later, so I'm really excited about that because I'm Cancer Sun and Cancer Moon. I even have Venus in Cancer, so I'm like triple Cancer basically. But I don't want to talk about Cancer. I want to talk about Uranus and Gemini a little bit because it's such a huge thing that I just had to share about it. So I'm gonna share my screen. Um, because actually it's gonna be uh, basically for a long time for us, okay? So we know, or if you don't know astrology, then just know that on July 7th, which is just a few days ago, Uranus, which is a planet of shocks and rebellion, which is, of course, huge, entered Gemini. And if you have a Gemini in your home, my daughter is a Gemini, and we call her a yapper because Gemini rules technology, communication. So what we will basically see is that Uranus will disrupt all of those things, which is not necessarily a bad thing. We just have to be prepared for it. And it will return to Taurus in November. So we will just get for these few months just a sneak peek how it will look like, because then it will be from April, it will re-enter Gemini and it's gonna stay there until 2033, which is like a long time. So if you don't know Uranus, it's really a planet of disruption, which is actually great because we know that with Pluto in Aquarius, it's just going to be a huge shift, and all systems, old systems that didn't work, will slowly or quickly just break down. So again, it will be an age of overload, and this planet really asks you to break free from it. And what we're doing exactly at this time with Andy is social media detox, and she's gonna share a little bit more about it. But this is basically just to break free from all these things. You can experiment with new habits and routines. So really, social media detox is one of those routines. You really should think about taking a time out from your social feeds, from social media, from news, especially, and because it can really feel that everything is so noisy and loud, and it's going to be accelerating. So you really need to give your nervous system a break. So we're going to talk a little bit about ways how to really give our nervous system a break. I'm going to stop sharing, and I would just love to know, Andy, what do you think about all of this? Because it's really a huge shift. So,
Yeah.
and Barbie, maybe also
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for all of that. I was actually going to say leave it up for me for a second, because I won't maybe if I'm not looking at it, remember all the points I wanted to make. Um, and while you're pulling it up, I'll just keep going. But first of all, we've been feeling Uranus make this transition for a while. When a planet sits in 0 degrees or 29 degrees, which it's been near, right? It's been on that cusp for a while. So we've been feeling that shift since the political turnover here, at least in the United States. And this is the focal point, or one of, I should say, because there are several in this sky right now that point to this being a time of rebellion, of revolution, of new beginnings. I mean, this year, 2025, is a 9. This is completion. This is cycle completion. This is new champions, new methodologies, new things popping up. And what better than the sign of Gemini to enter, the sign of the twins, right? The sign that is, duality, right? So we're also really focused on what's real to us and what's not real to us. That duality. I'm married to a Gemini. All my bridesmaids were Geminis. I'm sure Barbie's a Gemini. I'm surrounded by Geminis. And they're always reminding you that there are always two sides of the coin. You could look at something and think it's positive or negative. You could look at our political, through the political lens in the United States right now, or actually there are multiple other countries that are going through transitions as well right now, right? We've seen turmoil over in the Ukraine. Um, there was a shift in Canada, right? And so when you think about the duality piece, right? Like, okay, I could look at this positively or negatively. You label it. It's your reality. You label it. So if you want to label this, oh my gosh, like the world is going to end. I mean, I was at this farm this morning and the woman was like, are you going to save your water? And, you're off solar, and are you doing everything just in case, not just in case, rather. She was more like, when SHIT hits the fan, and we left. And I was like, I just choose not to live in that fear-based reality. I'm not doing this, which, if you don't know me, is living off grid and catching our water and making our own energy and growing our own food, right? That sovereignty sense, we're all coming back to that. I think most people feel that they need to return to basics. What a great suggestion that we're doing now is to return to basics with your energy and your social media and take a break, right? Just take a break. What did we do before we were constantly looking at our phones, right? What did we do before we had electricity. I lived for a year here without electricity, like the normal kind of electricity. We had little snippets of it, but what do you do? And you can choose to label that as, well, I could never do that, or that sounds like a nightmare, or, you know, like I said, all hell's breaking loose, or you could look at it like this is the dawn of the age of Aquarius, right? Like we have so much magic coming at us from the sky right now. Don't label it. Don't decide what it is. Just say, I know this is intense. I need to support myself and do self-care. I need to go out into the woods and reconnect with nature. I need to make sure that I'm, you know, taking care of my friends and family with food or whatever you choose to do. Um, and self-care, right? Do the things for you that are self-care. Experiment, like Hannah said, with new habits and routines. For me, um, that's always connecting with the forest and walking barefoot and breathing, sitting out in the morning, listening to the birds, breathing the fresh air, looking at the sun right as it comes up over, so the morning or evening magic hour right before it drops down, that does something to our circadian rhythms, magic that makes us sleep better, makes us have higher energy, makes us, helps us connect to that solar power that is our everything. Um, so yeah, that's what I get from this right now is instead of, the oh no, right? This is going to the next whatever 10 years, 8 years, this is going to be really hard, right? You can say, no, this is going to be really exciting. This is new. This is magical. This is Uranus and Gemini. Like, what does that even look like? Has that, and the other thing too is I always go back and look at the last time Uranus was in Gemini, right? What what and I without an ephemeris I can't tell you that, but just you could Google it. Hannah can Google it for me
I
while I'm
can I
talking.
can I can tell you actually
Yeah, okay.
because
Tell me.
I'm a historian as well, and I love connecting what happened when. So basically, all that Pluto in Aquarius, we know that that was the time of revolutions.
Yes.
Also, it was a time of revolution in technology and industrial revolution. And also, it was the time when the Gutenberg started to print books. So we can see again that Gemini energy, communication. Um, and that was beautiful what you said, that it's all about perception. And we talked just a few days ago, we talked about matching energy. So if you constantly watch the news and doom and gloom and scrolling through social with all those terrible news, which it's not that we like put our hand in the sand and don't want to know what's happening in the world, but I really believe that if everyone would um, higher their or have their vibration higher, then all of the humanity would vibrate higher. So, what maybe you ask, what can you do as a person? It's really that. It's really meditating, reading positive. Basically, all those media that you consume should match your vibe. Okay, movies you watch, music you listen to, books you read, there's a lot. So we can definitely talk about it more. Andy, do you have something to add? Because it's
Yeah.
such a huge topic. Yeah. So
I love that you brought up raising your vibration because sometimes I just had this conversation. You and I started, and then that conversation continued for like the next 48 hours for me of how you keep your vibration high. Sometimes you feel like it's a chore or it's hard work or, oh, tripped up and I let this person's energy, infiltrate mine, right? And it's really as easy as sometimes it's not, but it can be as easy as saying vibration rise. And what when I say that to you, what comes up, right? You think elevate, you see, I say vibration rise, and instantly I take a deep breath, right? Or I'm focusing on love, focusing on plants, um, focusing energy into plants, channeling energy, sitting with a crystal, sitting with nature, sitting with flowers, eating fresh food, um, talking about things that excite you, laughing, all of that raises your vibration. And it doesn't have to feel like it's an effort. It shouldn't, I mean, that's the antithesis of raising your vibration is if it takes effort, right? So um exactly. And vibration is matching. We know that. So you've got to be solid in yours, right? And aware of yours. And if something comes into your field that feels like it's lowering, someone who's talking about fear-based reality or blame shame game, right? Um, just walk out of the room, take your shoes off, walk in the grass, put a couple crystals in your pockets, take a few deep breaths, and say, that's not me. That's not my energy. Separate, feel that separation. And then visualize just the energy lifting. And Craig's, this is the simplest exercise Craig always does, is my husband. If something disrupts his energy, he'll just, or if someone is dumping negativity in his direction, um, he doesn't even say it out loud, but sometimes he says it out loud. But in a conversation like that, close your eyes or not even and say, love, 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 love. If you, this is a Wayne Dyer technique. If you say love 20 times, by the end of the 20th love, you're like, what was I doing? Right? You're so filled with that word. It sometimes can just be as easy as that. That is setting an intention. That is claiming your choice right here, right now, instead of whatever, fill in the blank, low vibration, fear-based reality.
That's such a beautiful practice. And maybe we can share a little bit more about our social media, because I feel that social media really sucks us into that uh, vortex of negativity so often. So, yeah, we're starting in 2 days, basically. So, Andy, can you share a little bit more
Yes.
about
Oh my
that?
gosh.
And why
Why?
did you want to do that? And
Yes, because
why it's important? Yeah.
I have watched Hannah. So Hannah and I've known each other for 5 years. We met through social media. Um, and decided we were so simpatico, we were going to work together. And we have in so many different ways. And we've gone to each other's countries. I've gone to France, Provence in France to see Hannah and just her beautiful homestead there. Early 19th century farmhouse. I mean, absolutely beautiful, this thing that they've created there, with her family and her kids and her husband. And watching Hannah, oh, and she's come here too, right? You've come to the US and played with us too. Um, but watching Hannah every July take a break for herself for her birthday. We both have a marketing background. So social media just came in with everything else that you do technologically add to your life in the last 30 years, right? That just became part of the norm. And it does feel like an outside entity controlling your emotional state sometimes. You know, you come out of the scroll hole going, I should be doing more, or I should fill in the blank, right? Maybe I should be doing less, right? But if you get sucked into that, just doom scroll of like, I don't even know why I'm still scrolling, right? Instead of purposefully, and this goes with anything, right? We can mindlessly go throughout our day and work and life and conversations with people, or we can intentionally and consciously, full of awareness and focus, move throughout our day and be very present in the now for relationships, work, business, play, family, etc. But Even social media. You go with an intention to say, I'm going to find the 5 people in my friend list that I haven't heard from in a while, or maybe it's their birthday and you go celebrate their birthday, but then add another, like, what's going on in your world right now, right? Like, that's why I love social media, because I can pop in on any of my friends and see their life and see what's going on. Or maybe I've lost their cell number because it's changed, or maybe, I don't know where they live anymore because they've moved, but I still have this connection. And as someone who has connector in their Clifton strengths, I love that piece of social media. I love connecting, but sometimes you can feel so over connected that all of your wires are hot, right? Like overcharged electrical system, or the battery, your phone, right? When it's plugged in, sometimes it gets hot. It's plugged into the wrong cord or the wrong base. It gets hot, right? We get hot or stirred up, right? With too much connection. And we need to remember that we really should be connecting to ground, to Mother Earth, and to source, you know, on a daily basis and running that energy through us. So even just doing that, right, before we get on social media. But this is great. This break is so great. It's July 12th to 22. Um, we both have a little upsell piece of this. If you want some coaching and a group Zoom afterwards, there's a fee, but otherwise it's free. I've got a document that helps you disconnect, walks you through how to maybe make your profile picture say, I'm offline, so that when people go, or they come looking for you because you post a lot and you're not there suddenly, right? Or they're out for me to wish you a happy birthday and I can't say thank you because I'm going to be offline. I'll have a little message that will pop up and say, hey, I'm offline until July 22. But then during that time, Hannah's curated an amazing reading list, a book that I've already downloaded from that. And part of it is like mindfulness, and part of it is like, how could we live our lives without social? Um, yeah, right. We know we could. There could we live our lives without the internet? Like that, there's a whole other can of worms. And in the detox that we do every month together as a healthy living community, 10 days, very clean, mindset focus, sleep focus, health focus, food focus. We're adding in this piece this month of disconnecting from the digital matrix, however it feels right to you. I've had a couple people say to me, I can't fully disconnect, but I want to do this with you. And I'm like, great. I watched Hannah do it for 5 years and I felt like I couldn't do it. This is perfect because I'm going to Colorado. I have I have every reason to be present with my family, and to disconnect. So I just encourage you, even if you feel like you can't disconnect for a week or 10 days. I mean, Hannah used to do it for 3 weeks. Um, Disconnect for a day. Every Sunday, my calendar reminds me to not get online today, to not look at my phone, to completely just disconnect and connect into Mother Nature, collect herbs, make medicine, read. We don't watch TV, right? And that's our sacred day. That's the way I go to church, right? That's the way I connect to Mother Nature, to my higher power, to the fairies, to I'll draw goddess cards, right? All the things that I would love to do on a like yoga, love to do on a regular basis, that I push aside because I don't have time. Sunday is that day for me. Another technique that we have is that if you're not going to do the whole social media detox, or you want to get better about your technology boundaries, is at night put it on do not disturb or turn off your Wi-Fi completely, and shut that grid down that's a bubble over your home. Light some sage and some candles, every night, and reset that energy for yourself. Get out of that 5G. Um, and um, Set your phone to go to grayscale. Set timers on your apps. So maybe instead of being on Facebook for a half an hour a day, you're on Facebook for 5 minutes, and see how that feels. Or if every time that you pick up your phone, because you're like, wait, what was I doing? Right? If you don't remember what you were doing, you put your phone back down, or just be aware of how many times you pick it up a day. Right? So all of these are in our welcome pack for you if you're going to do this with us. I'll also put the link to join below. And yeah, did I miss anything, Hannah?
No, I just wanted to, yeah, I would just wanted to talk about how life-changing it is because this is basically my fifth year or sixth year even, and it's just so amazing that you basically realize that when you think you don't have time, you actually have time because we spend at least 3 hours, and that's just statistics. So some people are on social media like more and on their phone. So there are tactics, as Andy mentioned. You always have, apps that you can install that tell you exactly how long have you been, and you can compare it before doing the social media detox and after, and it will tell you how many hours you have saved. And to be really honest, I was shocked. I was so shocked how many hours did I save. And I use it for reading books because with 4 kids, of course, I don't have a lot of time to read books. And just like Andy said, just go out in nature, whatever the weather, like there is no bad weather, right? And yes, start socializing. So one thing I would add is meet one new person every day. Like challenge, okay, meeting one new person every day, but real socializing, not online. Just, when you go shopping, start a conversation in a food, like, I don't know, in a veggie aisle. Just start a conversation. So that's another challenge which we can add. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. And yeah, we're going to host a Zoom afterwards to kind of share our takeaways from it too. So you can join that if you join us. But yeah, look at the link below that we'll put in when we're done. And again, before we start our kind of Q&A, I'll stop the recording. But just want to say, if you're looking for a community um, to really dig deeper into our ancient knowledge, our ancient rituals, the gifts from Mother Earth that were given in plants and minerals, the gifts that were given from the stars in the sky, then come join Pillars of the Goddess Moon with us. It's a membership we're running right now, half off through summer. It's just $16.50 a month. So I'm sure you could spend more than that on things you probably don't need, right? So come join us. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll put up the links as soon as we're done, but yeah, it's a great group that we've got, and Hannah and I try our best to really pour into all of the resources